Today, we're diving into a message that has literally shaped civilizations for more than 2,500 years. We're going right back to the very first sermon of the Buddha to unpack this incredible blueprint for the human mind, a teaching that kicks off with a really simple but profound question. But let me start by asking you this. In a world that is constantly pulling you in a million different directions toward all kinds of extremes, how do you find your center? How do you find balance? It's a struggle we all face, and it's the exact problem the Buddha wanted to solve from day one. So, let's set the scene. Picture a quiet deer park in ancient India. The Buddha, just after his profound awakening, is sitting in front of the 5 guys who used to be his spiritual companions. And what he's about to tell them is going to set this great wheel in motion, and honestly, change the world forever. Now, he doesn't begin with some huge cosmic statement. Nope. He starts by pointing out 2 paths that are basically dead ends, 2 common ways of living that he'd tried himself and found totally useless. First, he talks about the life of just pure indulgence, constantly chasing sensual pleasures. He called this path base, common, and unbeneficial, a total dead end. Then, he points to the complete opposite, extreme self-punishment, a path of really harsh self-denial, which he called painful, ignoble, and also unbeneficial. He'd walked both of these roads himself, and he was telling them straight up, neither of them leads to wisdom or real peace. Okay, so if chasing pleasure is out and torturing yourself is out, what's left? Well, this is where the Buddha introduces his core discovery, a path that skillfully navigates right between those 2 failures. He called it the middle way, and he said it's a path that literally opens your eyes and grows your wisdom. It's a way that doesn't lead to more confusion, but to calm, to deep insight, and ultimately to total liberation, to nibbana. It's a path of clarity. But here's the key thing. The middle way isn't some vague advice to just, be moderate. Not at all. It's a very specific, very practical training program for your mind. And it has a name, the Noble Eightfold Path. And here is that exact roadmap. It's broken down into 3 main sections. You've got the training in wisdom, which includes right view and right resolve. Then there's training in ethical conduct, which covers your speech, your actions, and even how you make a living. And finally, the training in mental discipline. That's right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The cool part is how they all support each other, creating this complete system for living a wiser life. So next, the Buddha lays out the very heart of his teaching, and he does it just like a brilliant doctor diagnosing an illness. This framework, it's probably the most famous part of his teaching. It's called the 4 Noble Truths. First, the doctor points out the symptom. This is the truth of suffering, or dukkha. He just states it plainly. Our existence has this built-in level of dissatisfaction. He talks about the obvious stuff, right? Getting old is hard, being sick hurts, death is coming. But he also includes the subtler stuff, like sorrow, grief, and that simple nagging frustration of just not getting what we want. Second, the diagnosis of the cause. Okay, so if suffering is the symptom, what's the actual disease? The Buddha zooms in with laser precision on one thing, craving. The Pali word is tanha, and this isn't just wanting things. It's a deep, gnawing thirst for pleasure, a thirst for life to go on, and even a thirst for it all to just end. That is the fuel for all our dissatisfaction. Third, the doctor gives the prognosis, and this is where the hope comes in. It's the truth of cessation. He says that because suffering has a very specific cause, it can have a very specific end. If you can completely abandon that craving, just let it go and release it, then the suffering itself stops. A cure is actually possible. And finally, the prescription. How do we actually do it? How do we stop the craving? Well, this is the truth of the path, and it brings everything full circle. The prescription is to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path, that middle way he started with. It's the practical, step-by-step treatment plan for the disease of suffering. So, as the Buddha finishes laying out this elegant, powerful framework, something absolutely incredible happens. See, this wasn't just a philosophy lecture. It was an event that was about to send ripples through the entire cosmos. In that very moment, one of the 5 students, a man named Kondanya, has this lightning bolt of insight. It just clicks. The text says, the pure and stainless eye of the truth opened right up inside him. He saw it for himself. Whatever is subject to arising is all subject to ceasing. He got it. When the Buddha sees this happen, his face just lights up with joy, and he exclaims, "Kondanya has understood. Kondanya has understood." I mean, think about it. This was the first proof that his teaching worked, that someone else could achieve this awakening. And from then on, his student was known as Anya Kondanya, which means Kondanya who understand. But this wasn't just a quiet human moment. Oh no. The ancient texts say the whole universe was listening in. The earth devas, these spirits of the world, they cry out with this huge voice, shouting the news to the heavens. The supreme wheel of the teaching has been set in motion, and no one in the world can stop it. And that was just the start. The sound of their call shot upwards and was heard by the beings in the next heavenly realm, the devas of the four great kings. And what did they do? They took up the cry, passing the news on, higher and higher. In an instant, this message just cascades up through all the heavens, through realm after realm, all the way to the most sublime, the highest Brahma worlds. The entire cosmic structure heard the news in a flash. The text says that the whole 10,000-fold world system shook. It trembled and it quaked, and an immense, brilliant light just appeared everywhere. A light so radiant it outshone the splendor of all the gods combined. The first turn of the wheel was an event that shook the very foundations of existence. That wheel was set in motion in a quiet deer park 2,500 years ago. It rolled out of India, across Asia, and all the way into our modern world. And that leads us to the final question. For all of us, in our lives, in our world, in our own minds, where is that wheel rolling right now?